Brentford returned to the Premier League for the first time in 74 years, and it's been all about their star man, Ivan Toney, who everybody wants a piece of. As it stands, the Bees are the only promoted side to escape relegation in the current season, and they could still even finish in the top half. They have their star forward to thank, but what is his story? We're back today with another video on your favorite players, clubs, and managers. This time, it's all about Ivan Toney and his interesting career. Before we get into it, make sure to like this video and feel free to watch more on our channel. Not many players have had the career that Ivan Toney has had in English football. He started from the top, down to the bottom, and back to the top. Snapped up by Newcastle United as a teenager, he couldn't cut it at St. James Park in an era where the Magpies were struggling to remain relevant in the Premier League. Imagine playing for one of the worst teams and still being considered not good enough. Several loan spells to Championship and League One sides later, Toney is back at the top with one of the most impressive small teams. He's back as the star man, too. It's a story of grit and mostly overconfidence, but with the skill and numbers to back it up. But before we go into Toney's career as it is right now, let's take a look at how he even got into football in the first place. Ivan Benjamin Elijah Toney was born in 1996 in Northampton, England, as one of 3 kids of a single mom who had to work extra to cater to her kids. Like many single-parent households, it was a tough life. No dad to look up to, no friends to relate with, and no meals on occasions because mom couldn't scrape anything together. Toney's mom, Lisa, would sometimes skip meals for her kids to eat, like a good mother would in such a situation. He later revealed he never knew about many of her sacrifices, but always knew that she drained herself for her children. Toney would say of his mom in one of his interviews, "My mom's sacrifice was to make sure I was always eating correctly. She made sure I was doing good and getting to where I wanted. I can't thank my mom enough for what she's done for me." If you consider this, he did start at the bottom. But as a footballer, he was an instant hit and started from the top. This was his way of trying to repay his mother, who did everything to make sure Toney and his siblings were good. It's the classic story. A young lad who loved the game, gave his all to it, got loads of support from his mother, and soon he was playing pro football. Wait, let's take it back a bit. How did this man get into football? Well, Toney did not like school, or he would rather study at a school where they played lots and lots of football. So after the expected rebellion at home, his mother gave her blessings and Toney went to a local football academy for a number of years in Northampton. In the coming years, he joined the Northampton Town Football Academy, proving that his dreams were valid and giving his mother something to smile about. As an academy kid, many of his needs were looked after, and his mom had less to worry about, which made her happy. Toney was not the best at the academy by a mile, and was not better than many, but he was one of the most teachable kids and the most consistent. In 2013, Toney became the youngest debutant ever for Northampton Town's senior team at 16 years old, when he came on as a substitute in an FA Cup match against Bradford City. Then, the Toney we know was let loose. His confidence grew as he got more first-team opportunities. He became faster, stronger, more disciplined, and his pitch trickster side surfaced. He immediately knew what he wanted the moment he stepped onto an FA Cup pitch, that he was going to play in the Premier League. Of course, his ego grew as he continued to show up his Northampton teammates, and that confidence attracted Newcastle United. Then, the next 3 years happened. Toney's signing was met with the hype of the English media. Peter Beardsley, who was the coach of Newcastle's development program at the time, even went as far as claiming that he was ready for stardom. Beardsley said, "We've been very impressed with Ivan already. He is a very good player, with great enthusiasm and a first-class attitude, and he has all the attributes to have a bright future at the club." That didn't happen, as you already know. Toney was thrust into the big leagues and it overwhelmed him. he admitted that being far away from his mother shook him up a bit. He spoke to BBC once about the experience, and he said, "It was my first time away from home in my entire life. I noticed my mom wasn't here to do everything for me." Newcastle probably did not have the time to coddle a homesick teenager. In the season he was signed, Newcastle had gathered a strong team that could easily make the Europa League at worst. They had Jorginho Wijnaldum, Florian Thauvin, Alexander Mitrovic, and so on. They went on to finish in the bottom 5 of the league and got relegated the season after. Toney still didn't get a chance on the side and played just 3 games for Newcastle in 3 years. In those 3 years, he went on 5 different loans. He just couldn't hit the levels he was at with Northampton anymore, and looked like a failed footballer in the making. It wasn't until Peterborough United took a chance on him in 2018 that it all began to click again. In short, what he needed was stability, and when he got it, Toney was Toney again. Toney used those loans to aid his character development. His mother, who had remarried, and his stepfather continued to support him. He built some muscle for strength, improved, and caught the attention of Peterborough United and showed what he was made of. 40 goals and 1 Player of the Season award later, Brentford came calling. When asked why he signed for Brentford after his incredible achievements at Peterborough, Toney said, "I feel like I completed League One. Not in a big-headed way, but all the stats speak for themselves. You want to climb the ladder to the top. I think Brentford has been interested in the previous window. It didn't get over the line, but they kept their interest. The club has high ambitions, so it was a no-brainer for me." And Toney led the club in those ambitions, scoring 31 goals in 46 games to set a record in the championship. He's now back in the top flight with the Bees, who he powered to their first Premier League in over 70 years. Did we mention he has more goals than the highest goal scorer at Newcastle? Who knows where they'd have been if they'd kept him. Toney's now looking at a future where he could play for Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham United, and even Newcastle, who did not see his potential a few years ago. He is exactly who he thinks he is. Did you like the video? Please check out our other videos on the channel. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notification icons for updates on when new videos drop. Once again, make sure to hit the like button and tell us what you think about Toney in the comments. Bye for now.